Welcome to Marketing Masters. Today's guest is one of the most successful e-commerce entrepreneurs New Zealand has ever produced. At 21, Iyia Liu was working out of her bedroom with $6,000 in savings. She launched Waist Trainer NZ Oz, and within a year, she's sold over 100,000 units into 90 countries, turned over $3.5 million, and paid Kylie Jenner $300,000 to post one photo on Instagram, and it worked. That was just the start. And since then, she's built brands in supplements, fashion, gifting, hair care, and vitamins, founded her own marketing agency, and launched her latest Brewe iced coffee and Matcha business. She's sold 3 businesses, and she's also starred in 3 seasons of Boss Babes on TVNZ and Hey You. She runs Girls in Business, a community of 60,000 women heading into its 13th annual conference. And through Make It Happen, she's helped over 4,000 people start their own business. She's a mum to 2 beautiful girls and recently got married and is now known as Iyia Liu. Welcome to Marketing Masters. I'm so grateful to have you here. And yeah, it's really, really exciting. I've been trying to get you on for a while. And so it's been, it was incredible when you said yes. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You're tuning in from your green oasis. I've heard you talking about like your why. I was actually watching one of your videos that you sent this morning and how you'd built that house and the beautiful big green for your children to run around on. Is that where you are today?
I am. We've got a little home office. I usually have 3 girls. They just come here and yeah, it's fun. It's like home and it's busy. But yeah, I love working from here.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, yeah, I really want to dig into, like, for the audience that I have is very much around business and marketing and how to be successful. And that's totally in the place where you are. That is everything that you do. You've obviously done so much that you've built this recipe for success. And so what I love to try and do is get people to share the lessons that they've spent years learning and share those with the listeners so that they kind of feel like listening to the podcast is giving them a bit of, I suppose, a helping hand. And then, of course, if they find everything helpful, they'll go and find more amazing content from you, from your incredible platforms. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about like from Waist Trainer to Luxe Fitness to the celebration boxes and now Brewe, which I've been watching how like huge your socials have got in such a short time and all the collabs that you've done and everything. Like you've refined this recipe, which seems to be a winning one. And what I was kind of looking from the outside was wondering whether the recipe is like you seed product to influencers for social proof. You bring in the bigger names once that social proof. You don't need the big names necessarily from the beginning. And then once you know that's working, then you start to put paid ads behind it. And then you kind of have email marketing and stuff working in the background alongside it. I don't know if I've got the recipe right, but I was wondering, is that the recipe?
Yeah, yeah, basically it is. Every single business is a little bit different. So I've had a variety of businesses, shapewear, supplements, gift boxes, hair care, marketing agency, run an event, now consulting for Make It Happen. And I've actually used pretty similar strategies for all of them, even though they're all super different industries. Obviously some, some are, it's just slightly different, but it's all the same principles. I feel like it's all built on mass awareness. So, yeah, lots of ways to generate mass awareness, and it's pretty much just finding the right mix for your business.
So when you say generating mass awareness, like getting down sort of slightly into the weeds, I suppose, from the get-go, but like if somebody was a new business and they were starting to advertise from day one and they were even figuring out like which objectives am I selecting inside Meta, when you say mass awareness, would you be recommending they choose awareness objectives? Or if you're a new, like should you be running a campaign that's in tandem where you've got awareness and you also have got hard conversion driving ads that are running alongside? Like how would you, in that kind of detail, set those things up?
So if you are a new brand, doesn't matter if you're a product, service, or what type of business you are, I wouldn't even tell you to run ads. I would say your priority right now is nobody knows you. You've just been born into this world. We need to build some trust, do a little bit of brand building before you even run ads. Otherwise, you're going to run ads. They're going to come onto your website. They're not going to convert because you have a lack of trust. It's a waste of money. So in terms of what I get people to do at the start is usually a combination of influencer marketing, the purpose, a couple of reasons. One is getting human beings using your products or services. Another great I guess the two reasons for influencer marketing, one is if somebody posts about you on social media, it is word of mouth marketing. It's just like digital. So, let's say you had a great experience with a product and you tell your mom or your sister, that's word of mouth. But influencer marketing is just, they're putting it out there for a few thousand people to see, not just one
Mm.
person. It's very fast. So if you can do that en masse, a lot of people are gonna see you straight away. Another benefit of influencer marketing is the content creation sort of part of it. So they create a piece of content of themselves with your product or services, or it could be a testimonial. You can utilize that for your social media, your website, your ads. And again, people trust people. So they don't really like, people don't trust brands. What are
Mm.
brands themselves? Like, no one really trusts that. They care what other people have to say about you. So yeah, definitely that is usually my go-to initial thing to do.
So I've worked with influencers in the past, and the first thing I think is expense. And for one post, you could be getting someone charging 5 grand. So how do you as a business go out and negotiate these deals?
So usually for a startup, like all the people that I work with, no, they don't pay any of the influencers. Even my own brands, every time I've started up, it's always just exchanging products and services for, yeah, social promo or content creation, and doing that en masse. So you start off with your smaller influencers, or I feel like the word term influencer is,
It's
people
weird,
get,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, like people get pushed in that thing, but everyone's an influencer. Like every single person in the world has the ability to influence somebody in their community or in their life or on social media. So I don't rule anybody out. So you're starting, you've got a really tight budget. I usually start off by, yeah, product gifting, service gifting. And then let's say you're like, okay, I'm getting great traction. I'm getting good content back. I'm generating some sales. Okay, now I can slowly, I know it works. I know it's working. Do more and more and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And yes, then you get to the biggest and then they do charge a fee because they have spent years building up their audiences. But yeah, I would be doing a bit of both. I would be doing mass micros and then having some of your bigger influencers more for like just they have a very trusted audience. They might have a recognizable face, sort of like a celebrity endorsement in a way, cheaper than a celebrity endorsement. So yeah, I guess that's why you would use the macros.
And what I'm curious is like AI is coming in and everyone's like, well, this is incredible. And everyone's trying to figure out how to implement AI into I suppose, rather than chucking the baby out with the bathwater. Have you figured out a way to speed up your processes and weave AI into what you do to make, because I imagine you're really busy and like the things that you're doing and the outreach and emails and like, have you nailed that? Because I think any tips you can give or insights would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the last couple of months, we're definitely trying to learn more and more, particularly with Claude. So
Mm.
really love Claude. This week I used the connectors function. It's like you can now connect Claude with pretty much any application. Connect it with Meta Ads, connect it with Slack, Notion, your emails, like whatever programs you use. And then even within Claude now, like this week, I said, "Hey Claude, set me up an ad campaign within Meta. These are my demographics I want to reach. These are the personas. These are sort of the angles I want you to take." It did the text for me. It set up the ad campaign for me. Like I didn't touch a button. And then I did put my own content in after it had already done the sort of like set up the base for me. But yeah,
Wow.
cut out, that would have taken, someone hours otherwise.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Also,
do you think? Because I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, but I know that Meta has launched the MCP connector, and I haven't tried it because I had also heard rumors that some people had had their ad accounts shut down because they'd used connectors to Meta. Is it? Do you know? Is it like legit?
this is
You've checked?
the this is the connector that Meta's launched,
Yeah, yeah,
the one
and
that
then
Meta has released.
yeah, and so it's fine. They don't kind of blacklist Claude and yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's the one that Meta's put out. So yeah, haven't used alternative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's amazing, eh? Like,
Hmm.
Are they going to be getting rid of what's going to happen with media agencies? It's nuts. Yeah, incredible.
I feel like the use for what media agencies have to do, in my opinion, is they have to start becoming uh, consultants for how to create high performing content for the ads. Because that
Mm.
is, how Meta works now is it's fully dependent on your ad content itself. So I feel like that's still a huge probably pain point a lot of businesses have is like, okay, how do I make all this creative? And yeah.
You must have amazing like lessons that you've done even for your stuff. Like when you set up the creative, do you do like a reel and a static and different kinds? Like how many versions of creative would you have in one of your campaigns?
hmm so I've just based on best practices that I've spoken to ad agencies and companies from, they've just encouraged us to leave the campaign quite broad in terms of, not too much interest targeting. So leave it relatively broad. But I work with a sales agency, and they work with a lot of companies way bigger than mine, and they said they encouraged me to have 50 to 100 pieces of creative. Yeah, that's a lot of variations.
Wow. Yeah.
I checked yesterday, we've got 85, so, we're in that bracket. It doesn't have to be hard. Like some of the ad creators we've done are it's like a static image of me with some text on it that we did on stories. You can make that in a few minutes, in like a couple of minutes. That's considered one variation. And we got to do lots of variations, but it doesn't have to take long. You just got to make high quantities of the content.
Yeah. And so would you have like say um like one image of you could have different colored text in 10 different ways, so that would be 10 different versions, as well as there'd be video versions edited slightly different. And yeah.
So basically, they've said the different ads should have different angles and different personas. So, for example, let's say you sell playgrounds. One of my clients sells playgrounds. I was talking, sort of like giving her ideas earlier this week. Okay, so playgrounds. One customer is a grandparent that wants to spoil their child. Okay, that's one angle. One is a parent. Okay, so it's your want to get this for your kids. Another angle is screen time. How can we reduce screen time? Okay, playground.
Mm.
Another angle is maybe fitness or mobility, or, like there's so many different angles you could use. Another angle could be birthday. Is birthday coming up? Oh, another one could be a Christmas gift. So that there is 6 different angles. Each of these angles might have a couple of different variations, a few videos, a few static image. And then now let's say we've got 3 times 6. That's, oh my God,
Mm.
18 there. Yeah, pretty much building it out that way.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's a really good tip.
No
And
problem.
amazing to know that it's got to be so many. Do you have, compared to campaigns you've run in the past, because when you've increased it to that many, is it working better?
Well, because Meta's now introduced the Andromeda, like the AI integration, and now again, it's fully based on your creative. That's how it's finding people. It's connecting you with the content in the actual ad itself. By being really specific and having all these angles, you've got the best chance of being connected to the right person,
Yeah.
basically. And it's going to
What a
do the
good
test
tactic.
for you. Like, you don't
Yeah.
really even have to turn ads off. It's just not going to run the ones that aren't performing well.
Mm. Very cool. Very, very cool. I was wondering if you could give us insight. If I was to look on your desktop right now and you have all your open tabs, what do you use as tools again and again and again, and that you find really amazing and insightful? Like I think, a couple that I thought about would be like Meta Ads Library to snoop on what people are doing and what ads your competitors are running, or TikTok Creator Search Insights. Like what are your kind of go-tos that you love?
I guess in terms of what are my day-to-day tasks, a main task for me is just content creation. So we are I'm actively researching on Instagram. Um, I don't really research on TikTok. I sometimes research on
Mm.
TikTok. So I will basically research high performing content. I will pull it all into Notion. So that way
Oh,
that way I can sort of like replicate viral content, but just rescript it to make sense for my niche or my industry. Uh, Absolutely using Claude to help script everything. Yeah, again, this week, I've now got Claude integrated into my browser. So this week I said, hey, Claude, like, can you analyze Instagram, analyze this influencer's content and just help me create some content that's more in line with hers, to help me tweak.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
it's a thing, yeah.
I did something this morning which blew my mind because I was like thinking about, because I'm a consultant working on my own, and so everyone's like, you've got to get a virtual assistant, it's so amazing. And I was like, surely there's a way I can do that with Claude. So today because I've got Claude everywhere, and I was like, right, can you be my virtual assistant? You've got access to my email box, you can see everything I've sent, can you do a sweep through for the last 2 weeks, make sure I haven't missed anything, can you create drafts for anything I have, can you do that every 2 hours? And then if I drop something, after 5 hours, give me a hard push. And it was like, yep, sure. And then it's set up and that's it. It just happens.
I
It's
know. I love that it just
nuts.
happens. Like,
It's,
you don't have to press any buttons.
it's
It's amazing.
incredible.
I
It's
know.
like, where are we going to be in a year? Like, imagine if this is where we are now, like it's going to be mind blowing. And I think people like you who are really kind of embracing it, that will be, like they say, it's a bit of a, like the gold rush, like people who really truly lean in, it will be hugely beneficial for the businesses that kind of adopt and figure out how to be smarter rather than, like you say, working harder. One thing I really, because you've done so many businesses, done so much testing and learning, and you've pivoted when it hasn't worked, and you double down when it is. How does that testing and learning process work? Like, do you have like a daily catch up, or how do you yourself, because you are very successful, how do you structure that to make sure that you are testing and learning and doubling down where things are working?
Mm. I guess we're so open to trying new things. Like, especially if we speak to a consultant or speak to anyone that might be in the industry, and they're like, "Oh, this worked really well for me," or we actually just I might see a strategy or see another business owner talk about something that worked for them. We will try it, and then give it some time, keep trying it. If it's not working, maybe ask a consultant, get some more feedback, and then just looking at analytics. Like, we're always looking at analytics. Yeah, and if something works, okay, we're gonna do more of that. If something doesn't work, try it a few times, doesn't work, okay, let's just move on to what's working.
Do you know what I loved was that when you were first launching Brew, you were doing some crazy ass trends. And I was like, one where you were like playing dead or something on the floor of like Farah or something. I was like, oh my God, she's so, like, your team must love you because you're willing to try different things, like to get stuff working, And I think that's what's so amazing is that how do you advise businesses to have the confidence to do that testing? Because they'll be like, it's not right, it's not aligned to my brand. Whereas I feel like you kind of go in with a bit of a like open mind and go, well, we don't know what's going to work, so let's try it, and not have these preconceived ideas about what your brand would do and wouldn't do from the get-go.
Well, I guess I'm not trying random things. I am studying all of the like the businesses that are doing the best in terms of like influencer strategy. I was recently studying Hudson about from his business is Comfrt, 500 million sales in 3 years. He's I think he's like one of the top Shopify stores right now. And he said his strategy was mass micro influencers, and he had them on affiliate programs. So now, I'm like, okay, that works.
Mm.
When we were launching Brewe, there was another matcha brand in Aussie. They had this really popular influencer in Australia. She sort of teamed up with her. She promoted it. I was like, everyone saw that. So I was like, okay, I know that worked for them. So now in my head, I'm like, okay, mass micro influencers as affiliates, macro influencers as maybe like for a launch or an ambassadorship. I'm like, okay, these things work. I know these things work. And then you sort of have really great guidelines. Same with content creation. I'm looking at all the top sort of people in my field, studying their content. Okay, they're doing that. Okay, we'll do that too.
Yeah. How do you get the time, like seriously, to do all the stuff that you're doing? Because you're a mum, you've got a business, it's new, it's launching. You've got 3 businesses on the go at the moment, haven't you? So it's like, how
I
to do
do have
content?
yeah. No, I definitely have delegate a lot. So the girl that usually sits behind me, Antonia, she's doing pretty much managing all the marketing for Brew. I'm the ideas person. Like if I have ideas, I'll send them through and we'll execute. Like I will sort of assist with execution, content creation for Make It Happen. We have 2 posts live a day. Every single day we don't really miss, like here and there. But yeah, it's a lot of volume. Again, I have Jade who sits next to me. She full-time edits for me and helps me put everything out. So I think it's just really about having people that can help you oversee and execute. And if you're the leader or you're the ideas person, you're driving that growth, you're throwing in new ideas, you are studying what's working and you're feeding that to everyone else.
How critical do you think that it is to have a community around a brand? So I know you interviewed Kate from Moody, and like she's got a brand where where it was started online, and then she asked the community to get her into supermarkets. And I know you kind of built Brewe, and Brewe was kind of building, and people were following, and then you were like, "Come on, tag your local Faros," and yeah, and so you're kind of doing that same thing where you're getting the community to help build the success even further. Do you think that's critical to success for businesses now in the future that we're in now?
Absolutely. I've actually always done that, like even from the start. Brew and Make It Happen are the only businesses I've ever showed my face on. Pre that, I never showed my face on any of my other businesses, maybe like once or twice. But
Yeah,
the whole thing was built around making it seem like lots of people love this product. There's people will literally just buy what other people buy.
yeah.
I feel like we would not, even with Brew, we would not have got into, we're about to roll out into like lots of Woolworths, supermarkets. Yeah, which is amazing. We've been working really hard on that. And they would not have taken us on. Like everyone's like, oh, Woolworths doesn't usually take people on, 5 months after they've launched. Um, so it's purely because they're like, okay, there's a community behind
Mm,
it.
that's
Very
amazing. That is
important.
amazing. Like that, d- did did you have to work hard to get a meeting with them in the first place, or was it that they already, when you approached them, they already knew what you were doing because it is so out there and you're so visible?
So this is really interesting. When I launched Brew, I actually thought Brew was e-commerce. I was very wrong. It is FMCG, fast moving consumer goods.
Mm,
It's supermarket. So I didn't realize I'd have to learn a whole new industry. But that's fine. We're here now. So obviously I know nothing about supermarkets. Once we came out with the product around October last year, we started approaching buyers and things. They were in periods where they are actually not allowed to take action. I forgot what the word is. There's like periods of the year where they're locked. So we were like, okay, well, we can't get in anywhere.
yeah.
They had their reviews in February, I think it was. So then, you start pitching, then they say yes or no, and then you do the paperwork. Then it takes a while. Very different to e-com. Like,
Yeah, no, you've got to get in with the right people, and it's all about relationships.
mm-hmm,
It's all
totally.
about
Yeah.
who you know, yeah. But that's
Yes.
incredible that you're getting. And when does it start stocking in their stores?
So we will roll out in June, July. We're sort of just working on our launch strategy right now, trying to
Wow.
do something fun around it. But yeah, it's good because yeah, I was like, we really need that traction. Really need
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that is one of the hardest things that all these drink companies that I think I saw another drink company, I can't remember which one it was, and they were just turned down by Woolworths. And so they were trying to get into like BP, and it was like, how do we pivot? How do we get in? So, yeah, that is one of the biggest stumbling blocks. So the fact that you've managed to crack it is, again, mind blowing for someone who's just launched. And how long has Brew been around? I think I saw your first post like it wasn't even a year ago. So it's
Yeah,
less
around
than,
October. Um,
yeah.
so maybe 5 months, 6 months, five
That's
months. Yeah, which is it's
insanity.
funny because I keep saying that's so slow. I've never ever grown a business this slowly before. This is my business to grow ever. So for me, it's painful.
But it must be because it's got the retail factor. If it once that rolled out, and if you were to go through Woolworths, throughout the country, that would be huge. That would be massive. And then next thing you know, it might be Oz or
Totally. Yeah.
yeah.
But also actually to take back some of that control and power, we are actually going to release some e-com products. Again, it's like my bread and butter. I just know it inside and out. So trying to diversify again. like we said before, testing new things out, whether it be products, testing things, seeing what works, and then just doubling down on whatever works.
What made you do like a drink brand? Because it is, I mean, it's cool, but man, it must be a hard market to break into. But I mean, you've done it. But what made you want to do it?
Oh, I saw this cute matcha in Dubai. I was on Instagram. There was a brand in Dubai and they had this beautiful little clear jar matcha. And I was like, I want to make that product here. We couldn't make it like that. I was like, I'll buy the machinery. I'll do whatever it takes to get that can. It was not possible. But anyway, it's ended up just being coffee and matcha in a can. I've actually got like we haven't released it yet, probably in like 2 more months. That's our e-com product, the matcha powder.
Wow. Yeah.
Again, it's to diversify. Uh,
That's
yeah,
why you were in Asia. You went to Japan or something recently, didn't you? Yes.
yeah, yes,
Yeah. I follow you, so I see
yeah,
I
yeah,
see where
yeah.
you're going. Yeah. That's
Yes.
so cool. That's so cool.
Mm.
And are you doing it with your husband together? Is he in this business too?
Yeah, it's okay. It's actually mostly him. So it's only because I'm super busy with my consulting with Make It Happen. So I've actually said, look, you are in charge of this. Basically, he was working for his family business for long time, I think 13 years or something. I was like, it would be great if you were at home a little more and you could help me with the kids and,
And run a
just
business?
yeah, just be around. So anyway, yeah, he's decided, yeah, he left his role and doing this full time. I just love the flexibility of,
Yeah.
working for yourself. So it's like,
And
what?
yeah, no, that's amazing. It's that would be a whole other podcast series about how to be in business with your partner and not kill each other. But that could be, yeah, that's for a
Yeah,
different show. I don't know if
definitely.
I could do it with mine. You
No,
must.
definitely moments of like, I'm gonna kill you. Or this is the end of our marriage.
So you clearly have a massive talent. Like it's incredible, like the journey that you've been on. And so I see it, and I saw it with Brewe when I kept seeing you tagging in and doing partnerships, and like you were kind of um, uh, getting in with kind of other brands that seemed very much aligned to the ethos of where Brewe and the kind of person that would drink Brewe would. And I think you were also doing a bit of like guerrilla tactics and turning up at different events, and which is awesome. And so, how much of that was planned versus you actually just showing up and being at places that you knew there was going to be things happening?
Pretty much everything's planned. Yeah. So
Wow.
pretty much everything's planned. But yeah, definitely. So we talked about the influencer marketing earlier on. That collaboration strategy with other businesses is technically influencer marketing as well, in a sense. Like you are still sharing or getting awareness from another platform that has built up an audience. So another
Mm.
business spent years building up a loyal audience. So by collaborating, you're just tapping into that, basically.
And so, how do you? Is it because you've been successful in the past that people are willing to talk to you because they're like, oh, she's done loads and it'll be good to talk about this new thing she's working on? Or like, do you think that's something that new businesses could do? Or is that quite hard? Do you have to have earned the credibility before these other companies would be willing to take a risk and partner with a new brand?
No, 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 definitely. New companies can do it too. I've got a lot of my startup clients that have, provided some protein powder or XYZ, whatever, for events with big brands. You've just got to like actually just approach them. They're only going to work with people that they like the branding and they like the vibe and they align with. So you've just got to make sure your branding's good. You've got a bit of community. Your product is, going to align with them. That's what they're looking for, really.
So, did you like? Do you know them before you approach them, or do you literally go into their Instagrams and DM them and be like, "Hey, would love to talk," or like
Yeah,
how is it?
yeah, we'll just outreach by DM or email. It's really a volume game. So I know a lot of people, they come to me and they're like, "Oh, I've messaged 5 influencers and no one replied." I'm like, "Okay, you need to message 50 or 100, not 2." Even this week, we were getting rates for influencers, and my team was like, "Oh, should I message 1 or 2?" I'm like, "Message 20 because probably 15 of them will say no." So, don't worry about getting
Uh,
your numbers up. Who cares if they
how
say no?
many in your career, like, and what you've built, how many no's did you get before, like, there's that saying of, like, I think it was like Colonel Sanders had 999 no's before somebody accepted to make his chicken, and look where it ended up. Like, did you have the same thing, or did you, the way you built your success was very much like, I'll find a product and I'll try it and see if there's a market and market it really cool, or what did that look like?
In terms of the product, it's usually something that I like myself. So, yeah, that's, I guess, pretty much all the products. I'm like, I do like the product myself. Um, in terms of no's, I usually only get no's when it's like, reaching out to influencers or, yeah, influencers and saying like, do you want to promote this or do you want this? And then they say no. For other things, I haven't had that many no's because, like, let's say you're making the decision on the product or you're making the decision on the ads. Most other things, it's just your decision. Mm.
So when you were doing the waist trainer business, because that was your first, was that no paid advertising until you did the collab with Kylie Jenner?
No, no, definitely ran paid ads.
Mm.
Um, but I started off by the very first thing I did was product gifting. So, I had my shapewear product for that. Just finding people on Instagram at the time, sending them a shapewear and being like, can you do me a post? Or, yeah, it was a post, it wasn't stories. Um, it started to work, generating some more sales. Okay, we're going to go bigger and bigger. We're going to start paying people $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $10,000 for a post. Yeah, the most I paid a non-celebrity influencer was, I think, $26,000 a post, I think, in America. Yeah,
Wow.
that was my haircare brand. But she was so good. She would do like 70 grand, in sales for like one reel. So yeah, usually not always, you're not always gonna get a good return, but if you find someone, yeah, they can do a really good job.
So are you going down this affiliate? Because I mean, I did affiliates years and years and years and years ago in the UK, and it was a massive part of the business, and it wasn't really ever in New Zealand, and then it's obviously come over here now. But like, is that something that you're really going to lean in? You think going forwards for the businesses that you're, apart from like the consultation side, it would be different, but like for product businesses,
Yeah, definitely. So, it's a shame that we don't have TikTok Shop because in America,
yeah.
that's TikTok Shop is like the affiliate, what people are using for affiliate. I did ask TikTok. I was like, "When are you?"
They've been saying it forever, and then it never happens.
I know. I'm like, "When are you coming here?"
Mm.
Hopefully soon. But there are other affiliate apps anyway. I think the issue is New Zealand and Australians, they're not as used, they don't really understand what affiliate is. A lot of people don't know what it is.
Mm.
Just means getting a commission.
Commission, yeah.
That's it. I think if we said the word commission, it's probably going to be better than affiliate.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So for any ecom product, absolutely, I would use affiliate. Right now, we don't have an ecom product. So once we release our March about is, absolutely, we'll be doing affiliate.
Do you know which, in New Zealand are the best affiliate providers to work with, or have you been doing that research to find them?
Yeah, I've used one in the past for my haircare brand. It was just a Shopify app. I don't know the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like tons of Shopify
Yeah,
plugins, like
yeah.
plugins.
And because just thinking about like products and people trying to find the product if they're starting up a business, and you talk, and I've had your emails where you talk about like the different opportunities that you could be finding on Alibaba and like products that you don't have time to launch but someone else could do it. Um, how do you vet the quality of stuff that from, like, do you literally just find something, contact the supplier, ask them to send you, and if it was like a moisturizer or like a beauty product, the masks, or like, how do you actually do your interrogation to know that you feel comfortable that you'd put your name on it type thing?
Mm. So with any type of product, you need to do sampling. Or I always do sampling. I would never bulk order anything without sampling. I usually do samples from multiple manufacturers, again, to just do a quality comparison. And then if it's cosmetics or consumables, like something you ingest, I
Mm.
often make it locally. It's not to say you can't find a good supplier on Alibaba for, cosmetics or supplements. Um, but yeah, if you're very concerned, just get it made locally.
That's cool. Do you have any businesses as like tips for people if they're looking at production, who those would be, like who they could look up or talk to?
You mean for local?
Yeah, for in New Zealand.
But you literally just go on Google and go like cosmetics manufacturer New Zealand. And then there's like, the top one for that is Shearling and Pauling in New Zealand.
Mm.
But
Mm.
a Google search will have them top two. Supplements is the same. Supplements manufacturer New Zealand. I just went and met with Vita Labs last week about something, a supplement. But there's heaps. There's, tons of supplement manufacturers. Yeah. And then
Wow.
just meet with them.
In terms of like acquisition versus retention, how critical is it when you're building a business? And I know with Brew, because it's FMCG, it's different. But if it was with your ecom businesses in the past, how much of it was focused on new customers versus keeping or encouraging purchase again from existing?
That's a good question. I feel like that's actually a big mistake I made in the past. Like a lot of the products I've released in the past, they were not recurring products. For example, shapewear, you sort of buy one or two pieces and you don't really need to keep buying. Hair care, my hair care business, my hero product was a hair tool. Sort of the same. I had a couple of hair tools. They were the most popular. And then I did go and release products like hair masks, like sort of recurring purchases, but they were not as popular as our one-offs, which
Mm.
was a bit of a problem actually. In terms of retaining customers or trying to get them to buy from you multiple times, definitely we use email.
Yeah. Do you use
Mm.
Klaviyo?
Yeah, I love Klaviyo. Yes, really great.
Yeah.
Segmentation lists, automations. Oh,
Yeah.
just great.
It's incredible. I tell everybody to use it. They're like, oh, but it's so expensive. But I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's like having I don't know, maybe it's like having I don't have a Bugatti, but like maybe it's like having a really nice car and it just drives so smoothly and it's fast and it's easy and it's beautiful versus the humdinger 1980s um, bomb that you could be driving at the moment.
Totally. Well,
Yeah.
this is a really interesting stat. So, I share this a lot with my clients. Every $1 you spend on ads, on average, you make around $3 ish back. Every $1 you spend on email marketing software is a $36 return.
Yeah.
So, email marketing by far is the cheapest marketing platform you can have. So, if you're worried about spending money on Klaviyo, I'd be worried about spending money on ads.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. That's a great insight. Thanks for sharing
Mm.
that. um, So in terms of like channel mix in 2026 and going forwards, if a business owner has a fixed budget and they're trying to figure out where do they put the money to get success, in like traditional versus digital and social and SEO and AI is coming in and all the rest of it, what do you recommend to people in terms of how they figure out where to be, what to do, that kind of thing?
The three main ones that I push or like I encourage all my clients to do is influencer marketing, product and service and exchange, because it's usually low cost, depending what your product is. Paid ads, just starting with a very small budget, like, $10, $20 a day. And the third one is emails, influencers, and content, like organic content strategy. So that's the content we put out
Yeah.
by by replicating viral content or creating high performing content. It's you reach so many people without having to pay for ads. Those are my three. I know email is important. I don't know why I don't push it more. I should push it more. You have to have email. Email is critical.
I think you just kind of assume, or people assume it's a given, like that surely everyone would have an email database. But it was interesting. Like I was working with a business last year, and they didn't have an email campaign.
Yeah.
Didn't have it set up, and yet they had a really decent sized database. And I was like, oh my god, you've got a huge customer database. You could be communicating with them regularly, and yeah, and it's become incredibly successful to help for them, which is amazing. But I think people sometimes get so busy. Do you think maybe in the weeds and the day to day that it's like, oh God, the idea of sending an email out is. Even I for myself, I would never not miss it. I'd never miss sending an email out for one of my clients, but I don't send emails out to my database because I'm too busy. How
Yeah,
terrible is that? Oh
I do.
God.
But it also, I feel like it's not like there's a lot of talk about paid ads and the other stuff. There's not as much talk about emails, even though it is probably like the number one conversion strategy or, high best
Yeah,
marketing.
best return. Yeah, the ROAS that you get back from it is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
totally.
not sure. I'm like, if you don't have email, it's, you need to have email.
So in terms of like when you're setting out these new businesses and you're trying to figure out pricing for your positioning, how do you do that? How do you go on that journey to figure out where you'll sit from a pricing perspective?
hmm
I just think it'd be really amazing to kind of figure out, like, I think a lot of businesses don't even necessarily know what you need to think about when you're setting up a pricing strategy. So, yeah, I was wondering with all of your experience, if you could give us some tips.
Yeah, I like, let's say I buy something for roughly $20. I'll generally mark it up to like at least 80. That price, I do have to look at competitors. So I do have to make sure it's in line with competitors. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny bit more expensive. Let's say all the competitors are lower than that. So I buy it for $20, but everyone else is selling for 60, and I just cannot make it more than that. What I will focus on is bundling. So I'm like, okay, well
Mm.
then we need to sell a 2-pack, we need to sell a 3-pack, or we need to come up with another product that you're going to sell as a duo. So then your margin is going to be higher. That's pretty much the way to get around it.
And have you been burnt any of the times when you were starting out where you might have forgotten to account for a key number that when you were figuring out your pricing, you're like, oh, suddenly you get hit with a tax bill or like figuring out like a calculator to make sure that you don't miss anything when you're setting up the pricing.
No, I don't really have a calculator, and I feel like I probably should get better at my numbers and things like that. But I've always just made sure I do have a large margin on things. Again, if the margin is starting to look thin, I will make sure that I'm pushing a higher margin product. It could be a bundle. So let's say
Yeah, yeah.
this actually happened with my protein powders. Like I was getting them made for like $25, let's say. Our competitors, everyone was selling for 69. I was like, oh, that doesn't leave you with much. Okay, then we added in a shaker. We added in a little bottle of fat burners, a PDF ebook. Okay, now people will pay 129. But those
Yeah.
other products, like, they didn't cost much. So
Yeah. Clever.
how can we up that average order value?
Yeah. So why did you, I mean, you're still so young. It's incredible what you've done. But what is your why? The why that started it all? Like, I feel like I've heard stories that you've told about your why, and I'm wondering if your why changed. It changed from when you first went out on this journey to when you had kids to when to where you are now. What is your why that keeps you going?
I feel like all those years ago when when I just started, my why was because I was flatting in this like dingy little flat. And I remember it was like really dark in there and there was like dog pee all over the floor. And I was like, this is just like, it was my dogs. I'm like, I'm the one to blame. But I was like, just like not a great situation. I'm living with like 4 random flatmates and, I had this part-time job. What was I doing? I had one in retail, one as a promo girl, did some hospo stuff. And yeah, I was like, oh, how am I going to be successful? I don't know. And I feel like I was literally just in this position where I was like, I don't love my life. This is just not the life that I wanted, which is sometimes I preach like you should be in an uncomfortable situation because when you're too comfortable, what's the drive? There's going to be no drive, no push for you to do anything to get out of that situation. So that was my why back then. And then I think I'm 32 now. I think after having kids, I'm like, okay, I don't need more and more and more and more money. Like that's not, I don't need that. I just really, probably my life goal is just to have a home that I like, have enough money so I'm not stressed, and go on a nice holiday with my family once a year. Like, that's all I really want. So I'm like, if I can do those 3 things, I'm happy for the rest of my life.
So does that mean you are trying to bring more balance in? Like, are you trying to not overcommit and not be too, like, keep being successful to the point where you'll be busy all the time?
I feel like you can live like so what happened with Make It Happen last year, my consulting business, was I was doing one-on-one calls with everyone, and, it got to a point where I was doing, like, 70 I had 70 people that I did one-on-one calls with. It was just a lot of calls, and I was like, "I can't keep how can I keep getting more? I can't keep getting more." So then my company helped me sales company I work with helped me tailor it into a more like a group program,
Mm,
which is still some one-on-one, but it's, like, not that much. It's
wow.
I guess it's sort of like, okay, how can we optimize this and make it more efficient? Same with e-commerce, like you have a product, you put it on the website. Sure, it's a lot of work to set it up, but then you want to sell more product. Okay, up your marketing. It doesn't really involve my time. So it's
Yeah,
like, how can we do more of these things that we can scale up without,
without
too
you.
yeah, well, without me too much input of additional time. How can we like optimize this? Mm.
How do you do the juggle? Because I'm a mum, you're a mum, and I bet you work with a lot of mums as well who are trying to, like, make it happen for themselves. Um, what do you say to them to get them to kind of keep going in the hard times and to get through the juggle? And, like, do you have any advice that you can give us? Because yeah, we're all trying to figure it out.
Oh, no. No, it is so hard. Like, there's definitely days where I'm like, oh, it's so hard. Like, mentally, I'm already full with my household tasks, and then you got more tasks. I feel like the light at the end of the tunnel, like for me anyway, is like the setup is intensive, but at some point, if you do what I've just said about like, how can we optimize this, set up systems where there's not too much time. Like now well, not even now, like even with my ecom businesses, you get to a point, I would say after a year or so, or 2 years, sometimes, I don't know, depends on the business, where you don't actually have to always be there,
Mm.
ideally. And then you've got a bit of a team that can help you. That would be the end goal, not for you to continue to do the work. It would be to start outsourcing as you scale. And eventually you're not needed there all the time.
How do you find great people? Like, how have you found your team? How did you find them? Did you advertise, or what was the trick to get good,
My,
great people?
my favorite is actually referrals. So yeah, most of the people I've ever hired, they've all been referrals. I don't even care if they're friends. Oh, you'll find this funny. So me and my husband are in our business. We had 2 of his brothers working for us. Jade, who does my editing, she hired Antonia's, their cousins. So I'm like, okay, we've got a husband and wife, siblings, cousins. We're all related. Well, some of us. Yeah.
That's funny. Tell me a bit more about what you do in your Make It Happen, because I think it's really interesting and exciting to sort of, you work with these people do they come to you when they are just even at the idea of, like, I want something else, and they may have a full-time job, or are they coming to you when they've already got the business? Like, where are they at?
Mm. So Make It Happen is essentially what it is it's just consulting. So I just help people start or grow e-commerce, could be product, service, or could be personal brand. I had a lady today that came to me for personal brand. Um, yeah, just people that want to grow or they're feeling stuck. If somebody doesn't have a business idea, I will sort of help them, assist them, go over pros and cons of things, sort of help them talk through all the different options based on how much money they have and the life they want to live and their circumstances, and sort of walk them through the whole process, just so that they just want a second opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I also have people that have very successful businesses. They're already turning over a lot, but they just want help with marketing, getting more ideas, bouncing ideas, um, all sorts. I get all sorts. Mm.
And do you watch them grow? Like, I've seen you sharing some of the highs and the wins, and it's so cool. Like, some of the stuff that you've shared is like where they've had massive sales days, and is that
Yeah.
kind of ongoing? Like they stay with you, and it's kind of you keep. It's like you're a coach. You're coaching them to kind of keep going.
Yeah, I feel like it's cool. I don't usually ask people for testimonials. The people that have sent me testimonials, they've just been excited and they've just wanted to share. So they've usually just sent me a DM like, oh, this is what's going on. These are my sales. I'm like, that's so cool that I don't even have to, ask for these testimonials. But yeah,
That's amazing.
I know, I feel like my coolest one is a girl called Kayla. She ended up doing like, I would have said by the end, about around $10 million selling skincare in Aussie, Tribe Skincare. So it's actually quite well known. And she just sold her business, so she just cashed out. I was
Whoa.
like, I know. So she sent me a message like, yeah, I would never have done this had I not, learned your training and learned all the basics. So it's cool that I can at least make people feel like they can do it. And then some do really well, some still struggle, but yeah, it's hard to guide everyone.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. And does the leadership conferences, does that kind of, is that a similar group of people? Like, because I haven't actually been to one, but is it like, a lot of the people that you're working with go to that too? Like, is it like building the community and I suppose the people that you're helping to build success?
Yeah, so our Girls in Business, that was actually made way before Make It Happen. I think I started that in 2017. But the first little meetup was at a cafe. It was just sort of like a casual, oh, let's just connect thing. And then this year we've got 900 tickets sold out in 2 weeks. Yeah, in a very large venue. But the type of people that come to it, it's all sorts. Some of them don't have businesses. They just want to come and be inspired and meet like-minded people that are driven, ambitious. But yeah, some are business owners that want to learn some practical things. But yeah, I think the reason is community. Like people are coming to meet women.
Is that like, you've got events, you've got your consulting, you've got a product, like you've been hugely successful, you've done everything. Like you've done everything. Do you realize, like, do you sit there and go, okay, I'm pinching myself. I realize I've achieved it all, and I'm still gonna, and you're still like got the world at the world is your oyster. Like, what will be if we were to meet up in like 5 years' time? What will you be doing?
Oh, again, going back to my like, what is my dream now? I just want, I'm in the house. I'm in a very lovely house, which I'm very, happy and grateful for. I want to put my kids, make sure they have a good education, make sure that I'm not struggling financially, and then just go on holiday with my family. Like that is my, for me, that's my dream. In terms of what I'll be doing, I really love Make It Happen. I feel like it's so fun talking about business and marketing, just like you. You love marketing. I
I'm a
love.
nerd. Yeah, nerd. You must be like an internal nerd.
Oh, yeah. So, same. Just love talking about it. Love talking about it. That's it. Yeah. So probably just carry on with that.
That's so cool that you're in something that you love and that you get to be in that every day. It's amazing. I am very, very grateful. We've definitely gone over the hour, and I'm so sorry because I know you're incredibly busy. But I'm really grateful for all of the lessons that you shared with everyone. It's you're very generous, and so yeah, I do hope that we do get to talk again sometime in the future, and no doubt we'll, yeah, definitely see you around at all the events in Auckland.
Totally. Absolutely. I'm sure I'll see you at a marketing or business event. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, bye.